Good morning, everyone. I am hoping, fingers crossed. I see it's picking me up. I'm going to move my mic a little bit closer because I feel like maybe it's kind of quiet and maybe, okay. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I am super excited. I wasn't planning on going live today, and it just kind of popped in my head, and I just went, okay, like this needs to happen. So, for those of you who do not know me, who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Kimberly Cox. I am the face and the voice and the brain behind Magical Mommy Spot, where we talk about neurodivergent parenting in a neurotypical world. It is my kind of secret sauce to the mix. I am neurotypical, having been diagnosed with ADHD, CPTSD. I also have one child that was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and another one that I think is probably a little bit ADHD as well. So I want to hop on here and I want to start. By talking about some things that are coming up because they're important. And I kind of am trying to put the announcements in these like every video. So if you guys see them, you're going to remember the announcements because these are kind of important. So April and May. April is Autism Awareness Month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Not exactly sure. I'm still working through what that looks like. I'm still working through what that looks like on the what we're going to do, what the channel is going to do itself. I know I'm going to do some extra content on those types of things. I'm open to suggestions. My community, if you guys want to, throw me out some ideas in the next couple of days or so, next couple of weeks, especially, like mental health awareness. We've got a little bit longer to go for that one. I have to stop and do a little funny little bit here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the TikTok that's like, you're neurodivergent if you have 3 different open things of drinks or whatever at any given time. Energy drink, coffee that I'm still drinking from this morning, and a bottle of water. Yep, that's how we roll around here. So, but I'm looking at my little collection over here and it's making me laugh. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. But that's April and May. June and July, June's going to be a summer break kind of challenge. It'll be like a week long where basically I'll kind of give you guys some type of a idea of something to do with your kiddos, and then you guys can do it, and then we'll post pictures and interact in a Facebook group. So that's June, and then July is going to be a back to school challenge. And I think I'm going to do it in 2 parts, not 2 parts, but 2 tracks on the same thing. So one is going to be regular back to school, because I know a lot of kids around this area anyways start going back to school at the beginning of August. So it'll be the end of July. It'll be getting ready for back to school. For us, we go back to school, I think it's the first full week. Well, no, it's not the first it's the second full week of July. I homeschool. And so we do 6 weeks on, 1 week break, 6 weeks on, 1 week break, and do that. And then we take from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and we do some schooly kind of things, but I pretty much take it off so that if I don't count them as days unless I absolutely have to. But we try to get all of our days in before that so that we can do the fun stuff, And granted, a lot of the fun stuff can count as school. So that's why I said, if I have to, I can make stuff count as school if we're behind. But Yeah. So that's the back to school challenge. Like I said, I'm probably going to do 2 tracks for it, one for kids that are going to private, public, charter schools, whatever, and one for homeschoolers. So if you are in either camp and you want to let me know like your ideas or some stuff that maybe you need help with, or some stuff that we can work into the challenge, because I know like when I started homeschooling this year, we started out doing online public school, and it was a disaster because it required so much of my time, and my kids were so like against it because it was so much work, and yet they're at home. And it's like, yeah, no, I can't do that. We had a run-in with a couple of the teachers, and I was finally like, I can't do this anymore. And I pulled them and I created a homeschool, registered it online in the state of Indiana, and we've been running ever since. So, but one of the things that's really difficult is sometimes you get into this place where you're like, everything is, it's like everything is kind of up for interpretation. Like there's no real guides. So it's like sometimes I would school at 6 o'clock at night and it would work. Don't get me wrong. But it's like sometimes you just need some type of words are escaping me. Non-strict structure that you can go by. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for that. And let's see. September has National Suicide Prevention Week. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I think I said that right. They do walks every year, Out of the Darkness walks. We've been to a couple of them. I've been to like 2 in Fort Wayne, I think, when we were living in Fort Wayne. And then I went to one 3 years ago now in Anderson, Indiana. We will be at the Indianapolis Out of Darkness walk on September 10th. I have a team all set up. There's a team, it's online if you would like to get involved. Like, there are people that are virtually getting involved and walking and like logging their miles and walking for the cause for our team. There are people that are going to be driving in. I have set up some hotel rooms for Friday night and Saturday night so that we're pretty much right on site of the place. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you would like to get involved with that, drop it in the comments. I am going to put the link for our team page where you can go and you can sign up to join the team virtually or join the team to actually be present during the walk. So for those of you who know the situation, you know that suicide is a very big cause in our life. And it's taken me a while to kind of get my footing around how to approach it with the channel. But yeah, I think that this is the best way to do that. And like I said, I'm excited to see where we go from here with that. So those are the announcements. So I will drop a timestamp. I will remind myself, as a matter of fact, I'm going to write down 9:35 for tagging that is where we start the actual Monday motivation. So happy Monday. Goodness, it is the first Monday of March. And I think some of us are kind of in this place where we're walking into maybe realizing that things are, like the weather's turning around and things are getting better. And, those of us who deal with like seasonal affective disorder and things like that, or just like, to be honest with you, there are days I don't want to do anything because it's cold and I do not deal with cold. So, like, having, where your lows are not teens and below, but they're like 30s, and then your highs are in the 40s and 50s, I can get behind that kind of weather. So, I want to start off by saying that this coming up season that we're going into, it is incredibly important that we remember why we are doing things. I mean, it is incredibly important. I cannot stress that enough. I have had the absolute honor of hanging out with some really cool people online lately and having conversations and digging deep into things. And let me just say, the season that we're getting ready to come into is preparing us for a season that is going to be beyond our imagination. Okay. And I say that because I want you to realize that it's not, and you'll understand here in a minute as I get in more into it, it's not necessarily that we need to do more all the time, but we need to do what we need to do when we need to do it so that we are prepared going into it. So I have personally, and I know some people who also have had this long-standing feeling for the last couple of 3 weeks. And if we go further back, the last couple of years of like, I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. Why is this not getting easier? Why does it feel so hard? Why is it that every time I try, every time I get my footing, every time I think that things are going to start going good, there's like a plot twist, there's a monkey wrench, there's something. And it dawned on me the other day, two things. One, things take time, okay? I want you to like keep that in the back of your mind right now. Things take time. So as things are taking time to work, your ideas are coming up and you're planting them. They're not going to go boom and be realized right away. So you have these ideas and you plant them. But what you're harvesting now is ideas from what you've done 6 months, a year, whatever ago. And I'm not trying to like give you a time frame necessarily, but that's just like a way of looking at it. What's happening in your reality now has to do with what you've done in your past. And so when we're doing the work, it can sometimes feel like I'm trying and I just don't know why this is not working. It's because we have this idea that this idea is the destination. And maybe not all of us have that as a complete idea, but it's kind of like if you've ever, for those of us moms out there, have you ever like tried to clean the house and had it spotless? And I'm gonna get it all clean and then I'm gonna relax. And you get it clean, or you get one room clean and you start working on another room, and then maybe another room, and you're doing laundry or you're doing dishes, and things are starting to look like, okay, I'm making progress, we're moving forward. And then all of a sudden, it's bedtime and everybody takes showers or baths and gets into pajamas, and you have 4 outfits in your hamper now, and now you have dirty clothes even though you just did all the laundry. Or you did all the dishes and now you cooked a meal and fed your family, and there's a sink full of dishes again. And it's frustrating for us because we feel like, I just did this. I just did this. I just did the work. But that is life. Life is, things take time and life is ever changing. For those of us who are neurodivergent, who identify well with gamifying stuff, I came up with this morning. We need to think of life as having checkpoints versus destinations. You get to a checkpoint, you might get some renewed sense of, okay, there's an accomplishment, we did it, but you still have to keep going. You're not at the end of the game. And you can't say, oh, I accomplished everything. I finished the game. You can say, I made it to this checkpoint and I'm going to celebrate and I'm going to be happy. And maybe depending on what kind of game it is, you say, okay, I'm going to get to this checkpoint and then I'm going to take a break. And this is what I want you to understand about that. We create our itineraries for life. There is always going to be somebody and something that needs your attention. Always. Because there are how many people in life and how many things and ideas and organizations and whatever that we're a part of. There's always going to be that need of feeling like, oh, this needs to be done, and oh, that needs to be done, and okay, I can take a break when I get X, Y, and Z done, and then before you know it, you've done A, B, and C earlier, you're doing X, Y, and Z now, and then A, B, and C needs you again. And it's like you have to take that breath when you need it. And this is one of the things that I know a lot of us who are trying to go into business, trying to just work toward that life that we really, really desire and we really, really want. We need to learn when we need those breaks, and we need to take them regardless of who needs what. We tend to be people pleasers and we try to put things, okay, I'm going to get all this stuff done and then I'll take a break. And we get all this stuff done and then someone else needs something and we're like, well, I'll just do this and then I'll take a break. And then before you know it, it's time to go to bed. And we go to bed and we're either frustrated that we didn't get to take a break, or we're so exhausted and we fall asleep and we wake up the next day and we never really got that break. We never really got to fill ourselves back up. We just kind of like wash, rinse, and repeat. And that is so difficult on our spirits and so difficult on us. I think so many of us try to do all these things that we think we're supposed to do. We listen to all the gurus and we try to make sure that we're doing all the things that are the right things. And the truth is, you need to find your truth. Find what you really enjoy, what you really want. Your purpose in life is always creation in one way, shape, or form or another. If you think about it, you're always creating. Even when you're at a job, say you're working at McDonald's, or you're working at a a retail establishment, or you're working at a factory. Everywhere you go, your job is creation. You're creating a customer service experience. You're creating, products. You're creating the moment with other people. Your job is always creation. Now you need to figure out what you enjoy, what lights you up, what makes you happy, and you need to do that. I had kind of I don't know if I'd call it an epiphany moment, but it was a moment today where I was sitting there and I was like, I just have always enjoyed lifestyle content. I've enjoyed creating it. I enjoy consuming it. That's always been my thing. But I've always felt like there's so many restrictions to it, and there's so many, I have kids, and there's like my kids' privacy, and there's this thing, and there's all these things that I have to worry about in creating. And then I went, do I really have to worry about those? Isn't there a way that you can create what you want to do and not have to really deal with this side of it if you don't want? Like, couldn't you in your head figure that out? And then I was like, well, it doesn't have to be an all-day vlog. It doesn't have to be every day, all day. It can be little pieces here and there of real life, which is what I know a lot of you really want to see, because neurodivergent lifestyles, neurodivergent parenting, neurodivergent homeschool, neurodivergent anything is a different way of doing things. And I think a lot of times we sit in this space of, well, I don't know how to do this because I've never had to do this. I've never been allowed to do this. I've never thought that I was able to do this. I've always been like this track of what society wants. And don't get me wrong, we do still have to live in society. We do still have to follow rules, and we do still need to make money, and we need to pay our bills, and we need to, like, those things need to happen. But I'm telling you right now, look around you and just see if you're doing that inner work, and you're working toward wanting more. Look around you and see what the people around you are doing. Because I'm telling you right now, that was one of my first clues when I really looked into it, that I was supposed to do something more lifestyle. And it's because all of the people around me are getting into lifestyle-ish things. They're getting into different types of lifestyles, different types of kind of off the beaten path, or not what you would consider, what most people would say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And it's exciting for me because making that connection of like, okay, I'm allowed to do this because this is what's showing up in my reality. This is what I am attracting. So let's do this because we're going to be successful in it. And I just want to give you guys that motivation of just really thinking through what you want. Thinking through, because do not do something because you think it's what you're supposed to do, or other people say you're good at it, or, well, this would really be a good source of money and blah blah blah. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because it excites you. Sure, there are things that are going to make good money that are not necessarily your big life-changing. I won't even say big life-changing. Sometimes there are things that we get into entrepreneurial wise that are regular, like a regular business, a brick and mortar store, a whatever, and it's going to make us money. And maybe on the outside, we're like, I really want to coach and I want to help people and I want to, whatever. You have to get excited about whatever it is. If you cannot get excited about it, don't do it. You're wasting your time. Don't do it. Find the things that you get excited about and put your energy into that. I promise you, if you can find the things that you're excited about, put your energy into them, you're going to see success. All right, now that I've talked to y'all for almost 25 minutes, I'm going to leave you on this note. Find the things that excite you. Find what lights you up. Start to shift that perspective. There's no end game, just checkpoints. Get to a checkpoint, celebrate, take a break, keep going. Know that you can take breaks whenever you want, whenever you need. There's nothing wrong with having a break. There is nothing wrong with having a long break. Sometimes we need that. If you think about it, when things grow, we plant a seed, and then for a very long time, we don't see much going on. It's sometimes weeks. And then all of a sudden, you see a little sprout come up, and then it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. But growth happens over time, it doesn't happen instantly. Alrighty, I hope this brought you guys some value. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe. I promise you guys there's going to be all kinds of crazy cool content coming out. I am Kimberly Cox from Magical Mommy Spot, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will talk to y'all later.